Yes, indeed. We're back, so bring it in. Doubleheader night of Friday Night Football here on TSN. Rod Smith along with Milt Stiegel and Matt Dunnigan as we're getting set for Winnipeg at Ottawa. Later on tonight, Hamilton at Edmonton. That game, we'll see it right from the start on TSN4 to be joined by the rest of the network. After this opening game of the Bombers and a big home game for Ottawa, should be a rested Red Black team, Matty.
Absolutely. And, you know, we had Jerome Messam in the studio earlier tonight. And, Milt, I know you're preaching to him. Get in the ice tub. And I guarantee it, that's good advice. And for the Ottawa Red Blacks, too, because this football team went through it. 3 in 11 days, 4 in 17. I'm talking about 3 games in 11 days and 4 in 17. These guys just couldn't finish games towards the end of that stretch. They're well rested now with 11 days off. Should make a huge difference.
That rest definitely helps. And for Winnipeg, they have something going for them, and that's emotions. They went through an emotional high in that game. There were peaks and valleys, but now they're riding that peak. They have to ride into this game. That gives them a great chance of winning. Of course, you know, you want to be sound in your assignments, but those emotions can help you out when you're trying to win a game.
And if you want to be a championship football team, you have to learn how to win on the road. And Winnipeg is a great test for them against a well-rested football team, a team we think is better than their 1-4-1 record.
Yeah, Winnipeg last time on the road at BC Place, they got outscored 18-0. In that fourth quarter loss that one to the Lions before the dramatic comeback over Montreal when they were down.
And what'd you say? Ottawa wins tonight, and they're in what, second place?
Oh yeah, I mean they passed Montreal. They'd only be a point behind the Argos.
Isn't that crazy?
But the East Division, really though, with the Argos losing last night, the East needs a victory pretty badly. I mean, West is outclassing right now.
Winnipeg needs one too to stay,
it's not like
pace with the teams in the
Ottawa,
West.
Folks. It's just that's Rod speaks the truth. He speaks the truth, and you know this can be a good football game because these are 2 good football teams.
To Milt's point too, though, the Bombers and the West never rests, as you like to say. I mean, the Winnipeg needs a win, of course, as well. So the kickoff is coming up, and Carl Kirkham of Winnipeg, you can win a $25,000 home theater package from Visions Electronics if a kickoff's returned for a touchdown in this one, thanks to Safeway Sobeys $1 Million touchdown to win promotion. And if a second kickoff is returned all the way to pay dirt in this one, you could also be in store for $1 million. Good luck, Carl. Rod Black, Dwayne Ford will have the call coming up from TD Place in Ottawa, the Red Blacks and the Bombers.
Welcome to Canada's capital. Friday night lights are on. Clouds and rain in the forecast tonight. Possible thunderstorm. Bombers storm into the nation's capital after a miracle win last week.
And there's the guy who scored the walk-off touchdown, running back Andrew Harris, 134 total yards. He enters this week tied for second in the Canadian Football League in receptions. One of the men looking to shut down Andrew Harris tonight, whether in the ground or through the air. His former teammate, now an Ottawa Red Black linebacker, Khalil Bass, 184 tackles in blue and gold the last 2 seasons.
Head coach of the Red Blacks, Rick Campbell's had some practice time. This team that played 3 games in 11 days is coming off 11 days of rest. Mike O'Shea, no rest for the weary. What an emotional win. Mission improbable last week in the last minute and a half, beating the Montreal Alouettes. Quincy McDuffie will make his first start, will get his first touch for the Ottawa Red Blacks. A year ago, he was with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Yeah, an absolute dynamo on special teams for the Bombers last season. Coming off an NFL stint in Dallas, he rejoins the CFL, but this time as an Ottawa Red Black.
Led the CFL in kickoff returns a year ago. He gets hit hard here. The former Bomber, his first touch of 2017, wearing black and red. McDuffie brings it close to the 25-yard line. Here comes Trevor Harris.
Yeah, Trevor Harris's numbers on the season, as expected. Puts up big yardage, always a terrific touchdown to interception ratio. The biggest thing for this Ottawa Red Black squad so far in 2017 is translating that aerial production into victories. Some key mistakes at critical times have cost them.
Harris with the gloves on. Crossing pattern, and the normally sure-handed Brad Sinopoli sees that slip through his gloves.
We'll take a look at the supporting cast. They've had some injuries in that receiving core. Kenny Shaw, Jerron Kreiner out of the lineup. The former Alouette Cody Hoffman makes his second start. Jake Silas gets a look at the right tackle spot. He is in for Jason Lauzon-Séguin this week.
Second down conversion. Pocket closes. There goes Harris on the run. Finds Greg Ellingson. Trevor Harris escaping, completes the pass, and it's a first down, Ottawa.
Well, you see the pocket collapse around Trevor Harris, but a nice escape to his left. Eyes downfield. Finds his favorite target, Greg Ellingson, along the sideline.
Four-man rush for Winnipeg. Coming back to the football, Deontay Spencer. He's dropped there by Chris Randall after about half the first down yardage. Make it close to 7 or 8 yards on the spot.
And we'll take a look at this Winnipeg defense. Jackson Jeffcoat has proven to be a great bookend to Jamal Westerman. 2 sacks and an interception for him last week. Mo Leggett returns at the nickel linebacker spot. Great veteran leader for this team. TJ Heath, 4 interceptions in the first 3 weeks of the season.
They pound the middle on 2nd down and 2. Achieves the first down after a 4-yard gain. It'll be 1st and 10, and quick tempo offense again for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. They barely huddle.
Yeah, this is bread and butter for Jamie Elizondo's group. Try and set the pace, get this defense back on their heels right from the outset.
Cluster formation, loaded up on the right side. And there's Patrick Lavoie. Free safety Taylor Loeffler has the tackle, a pickup of 4 for the former star from Laval University.
Yeah, nice creative play, bringing Lavoie across that formation. He's essentially coming from behind the rollout. Everyone's looking in front of the quarterback as he rolls to his right and forgets about that trailing receiver, Lavoie.
2nd down and 6. Harris. Flutter ball out to Cody Hoffman. Playing in his 2nd game with the REDBLACKS, his 2nd catch. Wearing Ottawa colors, the former Alouette.
Yeah, Cody Hoffman out of BYU. Guy who brings a little bit of size to a receiving core that lost Ernest Jackson in the offseason, lost Jerron Kreiner to injury early this year. They want to replace that element within their offense.
Slicing and dicing is Trevor Harris. Came into the game close to 2,000 yards, over that almost right now. Operates at about 70%, and this is why a lot of these slant patterns, these quick hitters, work to perfection. Sinopoli converting.
And the pace and speed of his releases kind of goes along with the pace of the game, with the no huddle and so on. It just seems like the defense has not had any opportunity to get their feet underneath them since this ball game started.
Yes, they are on their heels. 5 different receivers already, spreading that ball around. Out of the backfield, there's another receiver, William Powell, with the first down. Let's see what the spot is. Let's not get too quick. Yeah, it is a first down. They will move the sticks.
And you see some of the effect as the linebackers loosen up a little bit to try and take away some of those quick hitting passes to the slots. It opens up that swing release to the running back, William Powell.
9th play of the drive coming near the 26. They'll pound the field turf, not this time. It'll be a throwing down set up now. Mo Leggett returns to the Bombers lineup after missing a couple of games. All-star linebacker coming off a season where he had 7 interceptions, tied for the league high with his teammate TJ Heath.
Yeah, such a valuable guy. His versatility, of course, is a guy who can both cover and, as he just did, get involved in the run defense. But his veteran presence is huge with a lot of young faces on the back end now.
Deep drop for Harris, over the top. Sinopoli snares it. Brad Sinopoli, money on 2nd down, his 16th 2nd down conversion of the season.
Well, he may need somebody else to tell him about it after that collision with Mo Leggett at the end of the play. But clutch catch.
Ooh, head-to-head, helmet-to-helmet. Sinopoli still in, though. 7 straight completions for Harris. Audibles here. Goes to his right, chased down, Lavoie brought down by Mo Leggett, who has been in on every defensive play so far. Again, coming off the shelf back into the Bomber lineup.
Well, one of the things we've talked about so frequently that has impacted a number of teams in the CFL this season is how difficult it can be to play those inside cover spots, including the nickel linebacker spot. You see the value of having an experienced guy like Mo Leggett in there.
2nd down and 9. Bombers loaded up. Rush 5. Harris in trouble. Now escapes. Throws. Touchdown. Josh Stangby.
Trevor Harris is a guy who has earned his reputation in this league largely as a drop-back passer, but he's made a couple of terrific plays going off script here on this opening drive. Getting on the move, avoiding the sack, getting creative, and this time it results in a touchdown pass to Josh Stangby.
They line up for 2. And they'll get 2. William Powell makes it 8-0. There were a lot of different parts, moving parts to that drive. The key component, though, was that guy, number 7. Trevor Harris engineers it to perfection. Opening strike, opening salvo from the REDBLACKS.
A very impressive opening drive for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Josh Stangby gets the touchdown catch. 7th different Ottawa receiver to catch a ball on that opening drive. 12 plays, 85 yards. They ate up 6 minutes and 13 seconds on the clock with that drive. And how about Trevor Harris after the drop on the first pass by Brad Sinopoli? He completed 9 in a row.
Again, a Bomber team coming off their holy smoke moment last week. Their defense a little beleaguered this season. Giving up a lot of yards. Ryan Langford near the 31-yard line. Now it will be up to Matt Nichols and the Bomber offense. Their first series almost halfway through the first quarter. Nichols orchestrated the comeback last week. Has to come back early on here tonight in Ottawa.
eBay.
The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. We welcome you back to TD Place Stadium, Lansdowne Park. Very interesting here. The Blue Bombers huddled on the side of the field while we were away, and they run up to the line of scrimmage. Ottawa was already ready to play, so the Bombers could go up-tempo here as well. Their first series from the 31. Nichols going deep, has Langford. Langford has it at the 30. He's not going to be caught. Oh my goodness, what a play. How about that?
Well, they might be huddling on the sideline the rest of the night if that's how it turns out.
How fast was Ryan Langford? He looked like Usain Bolt coming out of there.
Well, Ryan Langford is getting his opportunity in the starting lineup with the injury to Weston Dressler. It's primarily been the kick returner. There you see that stop.
Second touchdown as a Bomber. On the receiving end, also had a kick return touchdown. They go for 2. They plow the middle, and they're not going anywhere with Andrew Harris. So Winnipeg comes out bombing. Langford scores, but they can't score the 2 points. Still, what a response. Quick strike. We could be in for a wild one here tonight if it's anything like last week. Buckle up. Ryan Langford
I was about to lie. He's going to catch my
played in Saskatchewan as well.
Hey, he almost ran me down. Had the whole city watching. He almost ran me down out there.
Now a Winnipeg Blue Bomber. Played some in the NFL down south. trying out with a couple of teams, but how about the speed? How about that play? His third touchdown as a Bomber, 2 receiving, 1 on a kick return. Absolutely remarkable how the Bombers launch right back. Justin Medlock. Deep kick again. Quincy McDuffie is going to give up 1. So Winnipeg misses the 2-point convert, but they get 1 point back on the kickoff. How about Ryan Langford and Matt Nichols?
And there you see the Ottawa defense lined up on the field as Winnipeg huddled on the sidelines. They basically trotted out. And, we talked about the efficiency and the pace of that Ottawa offense. But how about Winnipeg with their own version of efficiency? You may have just seen the time of possession in this ball game. Each team with a touchdown. Ottawa, 6.5 minutes. Time of possession, Winnipeg, grand total of 50 seconds.
And it's a 1-point ball game. From the 35, Harris again. Operating again to Spencer, who brings it up near the 40-yard line. Tackle made by Rock Carmichael.
Yeah, Carmichael shifts out from field halfback to the field corner position this week. Former NFLer. Been in the starting lineup every week, but now at his 3rd different position within that secondary. Started off replacing Mo Leggett, the nickel linebacker spot.
2nd down and 4. Pulling it back, play action. Sinopoli. After missing that first pass offering from Trevor Harris earlier, Harris has now completed 10 in a row.
Sinopoli does a nice job getting that inside leverage, little outside fake to get the defender to soften up. Walker's sitting hard on the inside. Sinopoli had to move him with that stem to get inside leverage.
Sinopoli and Ellingson, that dynamic duo out of the backfield. And William Powell is able to snag that and bring it down. It was a dangerous little alley-oop toss, teardrop pass, but it worked out for Ottawa.
Yeah, Brian Walker, the halfback, took a bit of a gamble here, thinking he might have a shot at that ball, that it was going to be overthrown to Powell, but Powell comes down with it for a short Ottawa gain.
Powell, who played in the first game, then was injured, back in the lineup for Ottawa the last couple of weeks, stays into block here. Harris now to the far sideline. And as Spencer right at the first down marker, it will be another first down for the Red Blacks into Winnipeg territory.
Dave Spencer, the former Argonaut, he's lined up as the 1 receiver into the boundary. He's just going to go and sit. As you see, Chris Randall was giving him that cushion of about 7 or 8 yards. Recognizing that, quick push up field and then sit it down at the marker.
Quick hitter again for Stangby. Played at Ottawa University, not here in Ottawa, but down in the U.S. in Kansas. NAIA, played with the Braves in North Hollywood, California.
Stangby getting plenty of opportunity to play in the early going, as Kenny Shaw, one of their 2 free agent signings, hasn't been healthy yet this season.
Red Blacks perfect on 2nd down conversions, and they remain perfect now. 8 for 840 on 2nd down. That's impressive.
Well, terrific start for this Ottawa team. Certainly looking fresh after a bit of a break in week 6. They played that extra game. What was it, 2-game week for them in week 5, playing a Monday nighter. Finally with a little bit of a break.
Powell dragged down from behind at the 30-yard line by Sam Hurl. Rick Campbell yesterday called it their half-bye. They had a half-bye.
Yeah, exactly. Technically, week 6 was a bye week for them, but because they had played so late in week 5, it was really just more of what you'd call a long week. As you see Sam Hurl with the tackle.
2nd and 6. Look at this. TJ Heath. Cody Hoffman was behind cover, and that's the first time they can't get first down on their second down tonight after 8 consecutive, so the field goal unit will come out. TJ Heath had an opportunity for pick number 5 in the early season.
Yeah, and this is a guy who doesn't let many get away. TJ Heath, his second CFL season, established himself very early on last year as one of the league's top ball hawks. Continued to build on that reputation with 4 in the first 3 games this year. He's in a slump though. He's gone 2 games without one.
Oh, did you see that? Did you see Kyle Knox jump over the center? Brett Maher was able to put that through. Kyle Knox goes vertical. Brett Maher plants it through the uprights. Barely. Good start here tonight. 11-7 Ottawa. It's been the talk of the week in the Canadian Football League. The comeback. Call it the 102nd miracle for Winnipeg. What an amazing onside kick here. Brandon Alexander gets it. The Bombers, who were down 12 in the last minute 40, pull off the improbable. Beat the Montreal Alouettes. A Bomber explosion and maybe even a Montreal implosion.
Yeah, it was all the circumstances conspiring very well, but give the Bombers so much credit for their execution. Obviously down the stretch in that ball game, and interesting to watch their players on the sidelines when they found themselves in that situation, and to hear guys and their coach Mike O'Shea talk about it after, as you describe it as this improbable comeback. To them, apparently, it was never in doubt. So much confidence despite the odds being stacked against them in the final 2 minutes.
So here is Langford after that touchdown. Corralled near the 25-yard line. Well, nobody could ever say they could call a comeback, but Andrew Harris and the Bombers had an inkling.
I think our hurry-up offense is the best in the league, if our top of the league, if not the best in the league. And anytime you have the defense on their heels, I mean that defense is exhausted, and we could see that, we could feel that, and we were just getting those plays in and out. So we're chewing up yardage, and after that first touchdown, and then all it takes is a kick, and you got a chance again. So everything just happened so fast, and it was definitely a great game to be part of.
Bombers do it again from the sideline. They huddle and they come out firing. Tarvin Adams. Seen this before in some college games down south, some teams that would do this. Huddle up on the sideline, then come out and try to catch a team in alignment. Bombers do it twice here tonight.
Part of the disguise in the last personnel package with which they started 2 backs in. Timothy Flanders, who hasn't played this season, is dressed for this game, so they go with 2 backs, and they released everybody trying to create a mismatch in coverage.
They've got those 2 backs in Flanders and Harris, and Flanders with his first touch. The Blue Bombers know what Timothy Flanders can do. When he had to spell Andrew Harris, did nothing but chew up real estate.
Yeah, Flanders averaged 6.1 yards a carry last year in 4 games around mid-season. Now looking to, as we said, create some mismatches and create a little bit of personnel, showing a different package than Ottawa's defense has seen.
Matt Nichols, incomplete. Goes over the top for Harris, who comes into the game with 37 receptions. 37 receptions, by the way. That's a running back.
Yeah, tied for second in the Canadian Football League coming into Week 7, as you see Ryan Langford in that receiving core, replacing an injured Weston Dressler. Matthias Gosen is the man in the middle of that offensive line, the number 2 overall pick back in 2014.
Dressler put on the 6-game injured list this week. Hurt last week against Montreal. They'll stretch it out for Julian Field and Godino, and Godino looks like he got the first down based on the progress, and former Argo and former Laval Rouge Or product will move the sticks. Pickup of 11.
Fioli Godino's the inside man of that 3-receiver set on the wide side. You see how far Jarrell Gavins has to track him basically across the formation.
Here's Langford again. Dwayne, you talked about Ryan Langford, who draws in tonight as we take a look at the Ottawa D.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Jake Serezna. Young guy starting to come into his own. A couple of pressures, 3 knockdowns for him in his last outing. Khalil Bass, of course, the former Bomber, is at the weak side linebacker spot. And Ottawa has gone young on the field side of that secondary. Corey Tyndall, Sherrod Baltimore, 2 first-year players holding it down.
Nichols again, over the top. Langford dropped.
There is
Sherrod Baltimore, second game with the Ottawa REDBLACKS out of Maryland. Former Maine Black Bear. Adds to the dreadlock quotient of the Ottawa secondary.
I mean, they joked about him in training camp that they felt like Abdul Kane was still here because of the physical similarities.
So there's a new holder here with Dressler out. Matt Coates comes in. Justin Medlock puts it through, and Medlock missed a couple of key field goals last week, but had the onside kick. Has his longest of the season. Final play, opening quarter. That quarter flew by. Still a 1-point ball game. Blue and gold, red and black in Ottawa tonight on Friday Night Football. Might be the fastest first quarter of the new season. Time of possession, look at that for Ottawa and for Winnipeg. Just 1 point between the two teams in a clean ball game. Flagless, no penalties so far. How about that for a start, Park?
I think we better get the starters, pistols, and track spikes. We've got a bit of a track meet happening so far between these two teams. It's been a lot of fun to watch so far. I frankly hope they'll be able to keep up this pace.
I find the chess match very interesting, offense to offense, particularly the up-tempo offense.
Yeah, it's neat to see that contrast. Obviously, Ottawa running a lot of plays, eating up a lot of time on the clock. Winnipeg, on the other hand, getting the same end result so far, but accomplishing it through the big play.
Again, clouds on the horizon, a major thunderstorm watch in effect here. About an hour from now, they say. We'll see if it can bypass us near Parliament Hill. Brad Sinopoli, another catch here tonight. Taylor Loeffler, the former Vanier Cup champion with the UBC T-Birds. Second year free safety for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Harris shouts out some instructions to his super slots. Look out now. Down he goes, and Jake Thomas has his second sack of the season.
Well, Jake Thomas, the Acadia product. Big part of this D-line rotation. There you'll see him going to work in that right A-gap. Straight bull rush.
First 2 and out of this ball game. Early here in the second quarter. Brett Maher almost blocked. Kevin Fogg, dynamite returner. Wrapped up this time though, quickly downfield. The Ottawa REDBLACKS, Dan West with his 6th special teams tackle of the season. There's our first penalty of the night. A flag is down.
During the return, holding, Winnipeg number 52. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Tom Bellesi is our referee tonight.
Very nearly a punt block. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers, linebacker Jesse Briggs, back in this lineup after an injury absence, looking to make his presence felt on special teams.
Former draft pick out of McGill. So longer field this time for Matt Nichols and the Blue Bombers. Coming into tonight, the 3-2 record against Ottawa's 1-4-1. Harris with his first carry of the night. 3 or 4 yards on the play. Sedarius Bryant has the tackle.
Well, it'll be interesting to watch as this game unfolds, how the Bombers do distribute the carries, the touches between those two running backs as they attempt to try and keep that Ottawa defense off balance.
2nd down and 7. Here comes the blitz. Over the top, crossing pattern. Clarence Denmark has his first catch of the night. Denmark, who had a touchdown last week. Pair of scores in the early season.
In terms of initial alignment, you'll see Denmark essentially sliding into Weston Dressler's spot, so lining up to the boundary side a little bit more often. In this ball game, that may result in a few more targets for the veteran receiver as well.
Such a go-to, dependable guy through the years. First down. Nichols fires far side. Paoli Godino becoming a big part of this offense now, and that's his 13th catch on the new season. Last year, through 18 games, Paoli Godino only had 15 receptions. He's already close to matching that total, and only his 6th game.
Yeah, getting more of an opportunity as a starter this season with Rory Collert moving on to Calgary in free agency.
Nichols comes into the game, 69% passing. 11 touchdowns now and 4 interceptions. There's Harris out of the backfield. Scoots past the midfield stripe. And again, orange nylon in the backfield. This might signal a hold against Winnipeg.
Zach Evans, you heard the mention of hands to the face. Zach Evans.
Illegal block, hands to the face. Winnipeg number 61. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Zach Evans was scooping up his helmet that had been popped off right in the vicinity of that flag.
Takes away that reception from Harris. Makes it 1st and 20. Raindrops starting to fall here. People getting ready. We've been talking about a big storm coming through this area all day. Getting up to the initial line of scrimmage is Clarence Denmark. 10-yard gain.
You got to believe they're going to rely on Denmark a little bit as the rain has started to fall here in the nation's capital.
Which would be tragic to this game the way it opened up, and you hope that the elements don't become a huge part of the game, but invariably when it rains, they do. So we'll see. It's been such a great start. Nichols fires. Pinpoint precision pass to Paoli Godino again. And after 1st and 20, 2 back-to-back plays, that 13-yard gain makes it a 1st down Winnipeg.
Well, you'll see Paoli Godino on that motion that helped him get the leverage that he wanted. Exchange motion as you'll see the slots move outside. Paoli Godino work his way inside. Matt Nichols standing in there under siege to throw that strike.
Takes a big shot from Avery Ellis. They show blitz again. Launching now is Nichols for Langford. Crossed up on that route. Had he been able to turn it back upfield, he might have been able to get underneath that ball, but could not. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, Nichols looked a little bit like that one got away from him on the release.
Mike O'Shea told us before the game that his team's still brimming with some confidence, still a work in progress, but as you mentioned, Dwayne, they had a feeling they could make a comeback last week. Nichols deep drop. There's Harris. Taylor Reed stops him in his tracks near the 46-yard line. Drive will stall here. Medlock will come out, not with the field goal unit, however.
And it looked like Winnipeg was trying to set up a screen to Andrew Harris here. See the blockers getting out in front, but there's just a little bit of confusion with the stunt that Ottawa had on up front that Nichols had a bit of trouble finding as running back.
Ottawa confused with their returners. They brought 2 out at the very last moment. And a great kick from Justin Medlock. This will hem the Red Blacks inside their 10-yard line. Greg Ellingson, simply one of the best in the game. Does it game in, game out here in the nation's capital.
Their locations.
Week 7 in the CFL continues this Friday night. Tonight, the second half of our doubleheader. 0-5 meets 5-0. Ticats Eskimos, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. A reminder that game will be shown in its entirety on TSN4 and then joined afterwards in the conclusion of this ball game. So big game out there, and this looks like it's offside by probably 5 yards here. And also a little movement on that line by the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Ottawa looked like they had a major head start.
Offside. Ottawa number 88. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
A tough field position. Gets a little bit tougher for the Ottawa REDBLACKS.
Again, the Bombers elected not to go for the field goal in a swirling wind now, and it's against the wind, so they pin the REDBLACKS. Harris moves the pocket. Completes the pass near the 18 to Sinopoli. The guy who went offside, and Sinopoli will be very close to picking up a first down on 1st and 15. He got 14 of those.
Well, one of the themes developing in the early part of this ball game from a Winnipeg defensive point of view is that they need to be a lot more aware of their contain responsibilities with the pass rush on Trevor Harris. He's escaped the pocket a few times and turned troublesome situations into positive plays.
Second down and 1. Harris with Powell behind him. Powell stood up. Look at the effort.
Ball's loose.
Ball is loose. Chris Randall has it. Fumbled by Ottawa, and Randall scores. Touchdown, Winnipeg.
A great play by the Bomber D. From an Ottawa point of view, you may be questioning why the play wasn't whistled dead with forward progress stop. But Powell still fighting for yardage. Winnipeg defense fighting for the ball. Chris Randall comes up with it.
Here's Powell, who second and third effort was actually pushed along, it seemed. And then the ball pops right out into Chris Randall's hands. Randall takes it the distance. 25-yard touchdown on the return.
A heads-up play by the Winnipeg defenders as as Powell was wrapped up and on his way down when they yanked that ball free.
Justin Medlock now 62 straight converts.
Hey, good work, fellas.
Under the new 32-yard convert rule, but how about this play? Silences this stadium. Chris Randall handles it to the end zone. Bombers have their first lead of the night. Wasn't a scoop and score as much as fumble interception, it appeared like, for Chris Randall. The ball popping out of the midst of William Powell into the hands of Chris Randall, and he takes it the distance. Bombers take that turnover and take the lead now, and see it in William Powell's eyes. He wants that rock back. 17-11, Winnipeg. Taylor Loeffler late to the field here. Justin Medlock to kick this off.
Delay game.
Once again, Quincy McDuffie. Dropped near the 24-yard line. So now Trevor Harris has to work with a deficit. Good night tonight so far, though. 16 of 18, 135, and a touchdown. They've owned the clock. They don't own the scoreboard right now, though. Trevor Harris back in the huddle here. Trevor Harris is going to have an awfully long weekend. With more on that, let's go down to the sideline. Here's Brent Wallace.
Well, Rob, with the way Trevor Harris has been able to move the ball so far in this game, it appears he's in a hurry, and who could blame him? Because immediately following this game, Trevor and his family are in the car for about a 7-hour drive to Erie, Pennsylvania, because his brother and best friend is getting married tomorrow, and Trevor is the best man. Cody, the younger brother, is actually awaiting to see Trevor come down to Erie, Pennsylvania. Now, Cody was the best man for Trevor's wedding and had all kinds of things to say, apparently, about Trevor. Well, it sounds like payback should be huge in the speech that Trevor's about to give, since Harris would much rather like to speak to 11 guys in a huddle than give a wedding speech. However, he's more prepared with a lot of ammo for Cody. Well, I want to wish Cody and Kathleen all the best this weekend, guys.
Wedding weekend. And likely an interference call here. So Trevor Harris has this game on his mind right now. Would like to take a W down to Erie, Pennsylvania for his brother's nuptials.
Illegal contact. Winnipeg number 22. 10-yard penalty. First down.
It's the newbie on the corner, Brian Walker.
Keep an eye on the inside receiver in this trips formation. He tries to make that cut in. Almost more of a collision, but called as black and white.
Strong arm here from Harris to the sideline. Little battle going down, some bumping. Crowd doesn't like it. No flag on the play. Rock Carmichael. Solid as a rock on that sideline. One-on-one with Greg Ellingson.
Yeah, they're out on the wide side of the field here. The matchup again, Carmichael moving from halfback to the corner this week. And see how it, with the sideline, the help of the sideline, makes that corner spot a little bit easier for a young guy to play.
Harris has his man, but pass not there. So suddenly the Ottawa REDBLACKS, who came out firing tonight, had made 8 of 8 second down conversions, have suddenly gone cold.
Yeah, 0 for their last 3 on second down.
Brett Maher will lift this one. Here's 24. High snap. Big boot. Kevin Fogg has a seam. And is wrestled down near the 38-yard line. Well, coming up at the half with the boys in the studio, who I'm sure would like to be here. It's always a great night to be at TD Place. GMC Professional Grade Playbook. Henry Burris, former REDBLACK, on the intricacies of 3 deep defense. Hank, do you think he ever has to buy a meal in this town? Or a drink, or anything?
He may still be living on the celebration of a Grey Cup that was a long time coming for this city.
295 days ago. There's a bomb for Adams, and Darvin Adams.
I don't know how there's not a flag there.
How is there no flag on that play?
The defender ran right through him.
Mike O'Shea's going to look up at that replay. It was right in front of the Bombers' sideline. He wants a replay. Remember, the coaches only have 1 challenge flag.
Yeah, the defender, Jonathan Rose, never looked back to locate the ball and ran right through the defender. Absolutely throw it.
I think this call will definitely be overturned on the field. It will go to CFL command. Jonathan Rose on the corner. Again, this is 2 days in now. The CFL Commissioner Randy Ambrosie got together with the competition committee, and they've changed the video review challenge rule.
Winnipeg is challenging pass interference on their receiver number 1. We'll review the play.
Just one challenge per game.
Well, and here's the point I'm going to make with one challenge per game is, again, as I look at that play, it's unfortunate from a Winnipeg point of view that Mike O'Shea has to use a challenge to get a seemingly obvious call corrected.
We had a long talk with Coach Osh before this ball game, talking really to everybody over the last couple of days about the change, and we know what you're feeling on it, that there were too many challenges in the first place, and I think that was the consensus from most of the fans and most of the league.
After review, we have pass interference on Ottawa. Ball will be placed at the 38-yard line. First down, Winnipeg.
So as expected.
I mean, again, a valuable challenge for Winnipeg in that it's a big play. Theoretically puts them in Justin Medlock's field goal range just with that play. So potentially puts points on the board, but not one they should have had to use.
Saw Mark Trestman use that challenge early last night and backfired on the Argos. It's a flag flying. That's a live ball, it looks like. Or is it? Whistle from this vantage point. It may have been a lateral, but it was whistled down. Maybe a moot point depending on the call.
We'll take a closer look and see. Take a peek down the line here.
That looks like it was behind him.
Offside. Winnipeg number 10. That penalty be declined. Second down.
Yeah, tough to say from those angles, but to me, based on where
Rick Campbell throwing his challenge flag and now chasing down the officials. I have a feeling Coach Campbell was a quarterback in his younger days. He has set records for throwing challenge flags this season. At least 15 yards on that.
Ottawa is challenging that the pass was a lateral, and they recovered it immediately. We'll review the play.
So, despite all the talk about challenge flags and having that only that lone challenge now, we're seeing them being used here, and this might also be overturned. Now, from that angle?
Well, Nichols is standing on the 43-yard line, sort of straddling that hash mark at the 43 when he throws the football. So the release point of the ball between the 43 and 44, yeah, it does look like it's on a bit of a backward angle.
Very close, though.
Yeah, I don't think the evidence is going to necessarily be sufficient.
This might help right here. This might be the best angle of all. See, from there, where that camera is, that almost looks like it's going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to look at where the two players are on the field. Again, his release point is between 43 and 44. It looks like Flanders, in reaching back, touches it similarly close to the 44. I'm just not sure that the evidence, because of the nature of the play, a ball in the air and different angles that make it difficult to judge exactly the angle of the ball. To me, this is going to be a tough one.
Here is the verdict.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
So Rick Campbell, his challenge not successful. So back to second down. And I agree with you about being conclusive. Angles didn't really show it. Nichols now has some running room if he wants. Decides to throw it out of bounds.
Yeah, Matt Nichols used up his big scramble. set up the winning touchdown last week.
How about that one?
Fantastic run that set the table for Andrew Harris to punch it in. You know, but just one final thought with regard to the review, and this is something I've said from day one of instant replay, and it applies to the last play and kind of the limited value sometimes of replay, is that a lot of times things that are judgment calls at full speed, much like that, remain very much judgment calls slowed down. Half the people, if they're pulling for the Bombers, think one thing. People pulling for Ottawa think something else.
Missed field goal here. Quincy McDuffie picking his way out, picking his way upfield, and McDuffie with an electrifying return up near the 45-yard line on the long miss by Justin Medlock. And remember, that's a new battery. Medlock with Chad Rempel, his normal long snapper, but Matt Coates comes in as the holder this week with Weston Dressler out. A 50-yard return by Quincy McDuffie, the former Bomber.
Yeah, McDuffie coming back to haunt his former teammates. But as for Justin Medlock, Matt Coates working things out. Not sure if that was a factor or not, but what we do know is Justin Medlock is very, very particular. Last season, if you recall, when Weston Dressler joined the Bombers, the two of them signed on as free agents. Medlock had a long list of instructions for his new holder in terms of how he likes the ball to be pinned and so on.
Tons of video. Powell finds a hole. Wrapped up near the midfield stripe by the Bomber D. Pickup of 10, right at the 55-yard line.
Yeah, good hard run here from William Powell, looking for a bit of a bounce back after his fumble was returned for a touchdown by Chris Randall a few minutes ago.
Middle linebacker Sam Hurl, the former Calgary Dino, with the tackle. Hurl and Kyle Knox in at linebackers this year. Of course, Khalil Bass, who was a linebacker in Winnipeg, now with the Ottawa REDBLACKS. First and 10. Good protection. Harris throws off his back foot. Dangerous toss that time. Brian Walker, Fayetteville State Bronco, knocks it down.
Come underneath the receiver. Brad Sinopoli, as the ball hung up on its way out there, recognized he had time to get in there and very nearly come up with an interception.
So back to Harris. Second down conversion. REDBLACKS were automatic early in the ball game, but now there's trouble again and had to hurry that into coverage once more. And another second down conversion that is not converted. Kick team returns to the field as we inch close to the 3-minute warning before halftime, and Harris took a shot as he got rid of that football.
Keep an eye here. Trent Corney in that D-line rotation. Just keeps the motor running here as he comes in from the backside. Corney from the Brockville, Thousand Islands area, no doubt. Has some family here tonight watching. Played a little bit of junior football in Ottawa.
Just down the road. Oh, Brett Maher caught that away. Again, this ball will bounce down to Fogg, who does take the knee. Makes it a 5-point game. Lots of offense in that first quarter. Defenses tighten up here in the second. Battle of field position. 3-minute warning on the field. All right, thank you so much, guys. Yes, 5-0 and 0-5 tonight at Commonwealth Stadium. 2.5 to go before the studio. Nichols, quick snipe out of the backfield. There's TJ Thorpe in his first catch of the night. TJ Thorpe, very instrumental in that Bomber comeback a week ago against the Alouettes. Had a couple of big possession catches in those final 2 minutes.
And Thorpe, another guy we talked about, Clarence Denmark moving frequently to the boundary side of the field. Into Weston Dressler's slot, you'll see Thorpe line up a little more frequently, closer to the quarterback.
Lappo watching, Paul Lappolice. Nichols has to dance in the pocket and delivers to TJ Thorpe. Former Virginia Cavalier, Durham, North Carolina. Made an instant impact since coming into this Winnipeg lineup.
And here you'll see TJ Thorpe. He's going to come from the number 2 slot. Watch for the crossing routes coming across the field. A little bit of confusion right there. 2 defenders bump into each other. Wide open and easy find from Matt Nichols.
1st and 10. Matt Nichols operating his 2-minute offense before halftime. Another quick hitter. Thorpe can't hang on though. Sherrod Baltimore. I have a feeling, and you never know in the CFL how long a guy's career could be. Sherrod Baltimore's career is only a couple of weeks long. Don't you get a feeling he adds a little bit of a different vibe to the Ottawa REDBLACKS so far?
A little bit of jump, a little bit of swagger. They've had so many defensive backs come through this team over the course of 4 years. Guys haven't necessarily departed because they haven't done well.
Nichols comes one to Darvin Adams. Penalty flag in the backfield. Just as Nichols threw that ball, is it a hold or do they get a little too close to number 15?
Illegal block, hands to the face. Winnipeg number 60. 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Bond, Travis Bond, guilty party.
Keep an eye on the Bombers' big guard, Travis Bond. They're working against Ettore Latanzio.
Former Minnesota Viking draft pick, playing with Minnesota, Carolina, and St. Louis. 3-man rush this time, so time for Nichols. Goes bombing again, and that one overthrown out of bounds is Darvin Adams on 2nd down. So the Ottawa REDBLACKS will get a chance to get the ball back and try to get closer or take the lead into the half.
We saw Quincy McDuffie with a nice return on a missed field goal minutes ago. A great opportunity here on the punt return.
Guy who in Winnipeg was a special teams player of the week a year ago. Don't think he would like to do something special against his old team. Not this time. Crushed at the 29. Well, every Tuesday, CFL Wire takes us inside the Canadian Football League.
That's one. That's one.
No, that's the last one.
That's one. 74, you're on the naughty list, buddy. Over the pile. Come on now. Yeah!
CFL Wire Tuesday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN 3 and 5. Mic'd up, turn up the volume. Lots of volume here tonight. Just over a minute to go before halftime. And out of the backfield, William Powell has some running room and some yards after the catch. Almost 18 yards on that gain.
Fans, of course, will remember William Powell's emphatic arrival late in the 2015 season, where he proved himself to be a great dual threat out of the backfield.
Harris looking one way now, has to go through his reads, can't find anybody. And the catch made by a Red-Black roster player on the sideline. And used to playing with Kenny Shaw, but Kenny wants to get back in the game, doesn't he?
I was going to say Kenny Shaw's first catch of the season is not exactly the way the REDBLACKS anticipated it when they signed him in the offseason.
Former Argo Kenny Shaw.
Currently on that 6-game injured list.
They would love to get him in this lineup. Already dangerous receiving core. Now slinging it into traffic. Triple coverage downfield. Greg Ellingson wanting a call.
And we'll see the tail end of this play. From what I saw at the end of the play, it looked like a nice defensive play by Walker. You'll see here he's closing. bit of a bump, but I think they got the call right.
Now, had this been last week or a couple of weeks ago, we'd likely see a yellow challenge flag.
Yes.
So the Bombers actually will get it back again. Teams trade 2-and-outs and possessions. Maher has come close to having this blocked a couple times, and once more, Bombers really bringing it. Kevin Fogg, a shimmy and a shake near the 31. 30 seconds to go, and really the only difference in this ball game, that fumble return by Chris Randall.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this is a saw.
Turnovers so often the difference. You know, with the Bombers, it's been big plays. The bomb to Ryan Lankford out of the gate, and that fumble return. Ottawa put up their points marching end to end. Well-constructed drive.
Matt Nichols, pretty good numbers in this first half.
11 of 18, 175 yards.
79 came on that vertical stretch to Ryan Lankford. Nichols is in trouble, and he's brought down.
Avery Ellis.
His second sack as an Ottawa Red Black, the former Temple Owl.
Ellis is going to come from the top of that D-line. Great punch to get separation from the offensive tackle.
Deep drop, set up a screen. There he is, Sherrod Baltimore. Here is a guy whose story is really a made-for-TV drama. Guy who grew up in abject poverty, really familyless. The Maryland area, dreamt about playing football, lived with his uncle, made his way through college, went to Maine, gets a shot here in the Canadian Football League. He's seen it all. Final play, first half, and a very interesting one. Fireworks in the first quarter, defense in the second quarter, and the biggest play, a fumble return for a touchdown. 17-12 Winnipeg on Friday Night Football. Back to the studio. Here's Rod in the game.
All right, thank you, Rod Black. You hit the nail on the head. Two very different stories when you talk about that matchup between the Ottawa offense and the Winnipeg defense. Red Blacks just sailing down the field in the first couple of drives. It really changed after that.
Yeah, it looked like they had their legs underneath them, and they planned and they executed what they had planned, and they went out there and they were just had Winnipeg on their heels. And I loved how they nickeled and dimed when Trevor Harris was simply on fire, and he was 10 for 10 in the first quarter, and it was, I mean, this is beautiful because you put Leggett on an island here. He's looking at this man here, and watch what linebacker's going to come. This is beautiful. Fake the bubble screen. There comes Sam Hurl in the middle, and then Trevor Harris simply looks to the bubble screen. Leggett's flat-footed. He sticks it on Sinopoli. Well, Richie Hall, defense coordinator for Winnipeg, he does a little Leggett and Loeffler switcheroo here. Loeffler comes down, Leggett goes deep. They can do that because Leggett's used to playing back, and this is no big deal for Trevor Harris. He reads it out as he was hot in the first quarter, finds Sinopoli, and he pays for that one. But since then, he's 7 of 15.
Yeah.
And the Winnipeg Blue Bomber defense has taken over and said, hey, enough of this. Richie Hall countered. The chess match is going on, and I absolutely love it, Mil.
Yeah, they settled down, and I think the moment they settled down is when they created that big fumble return for a touchdown.
Huge.
And this
They've been doing that last year, and they're doing it.
And I didn't think they can continue doing it.
It's okay.
But they're doing it. They're doing it. And it's truly amazing because they practice this. This is not something you're just going to show up to the game and you can flip the switch on and do it. They actually go out and practice it. They know when the man is being held up, the guys around him can actually come in there and strip him.
I wrote it. You hold him up, and we'll strip him up.
Right there, Heath and Loeffler. And they actually have a device, Matt. They have a device in practice. It's like one of those pull start lawnmowers. Yes, they do. The Bombers, yes.
Did O'Shea make that up?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But they go in there and they practice it, and those guys know. Hey, for guys being held up, the other guys around them come in there and pull it out, and that's exactly what happened. So far, that's the biggest play of the game. And I think they settled down because you talked about it. After that, Trevor Harris didn't really do much. It was a lot of 2-and-out and a lot of 3-and-outs.
He is on his heels, and he's not seeing the field very well. Had 2 2-and-outs and 2 3-and-outs the last 4 possessions.
I was wondering how the challenges would work since they reduced it to 1 per team. And the challenges, I can tell you, it's all over. They've each used theirs. Winnipeg successfully, Ottawa not. But there we stand, 17-12 the score. Back with the details of the Ticats coming up.
Welcome to Canada's capital. Friday night lights are on. Nichols going deep. Has Langford. Langford has it at the 30. He's not going to be caught. Oh my goodness, what a play.
Ball's loose.
Ball is loose. How about this play? Silences the stadium. Chris Randall handles it to the end zone. Blue and gold, red and black in Ottawa tonight on Friday Night Football.
CFL Grade and Grey Cup champion Henry Burris with the GMC Professional Grade Playbook.
2nd and 9. Glenn going to take another shot, and this one is intercepted.
Now, when you watch a game and you hear the announcers say 3 deep coverage, do you know what they mean? The number explains how many deep players there are in the coverage. For example, regular cover 3 means the free safety is deep in the middle of the field with both cornerbacks covering the outside thirds of the field. Now, when the defense decides to switch things up and change the player that is playing the deep outside third, it's usually the halfback that switches with the cornerback to play that deep third. This is called cutting the coverage in half. So you will hear the coverage is 3-weak cut or 3 double cut. Now, to break it down even more to their primary usages, defenses tend to run more 3-weak cut on first down and 3 double cut on 2nd and long. Also, when defenses show a 3-man front and run 3 double cut, for any offense out there, good luck on finding a hole to throw it into. And for the second game in our double hitter on Friday Night Football, we will look at the importance of the running game.
And that second game involves 0-5 Hamilton and 5-0 Edmonton. And we'll have that in its entirety on TSN4 starting a little after 9:30 Eastern, 7:30 Mountain Time. As you can well imagine, the details are not pretty for the Ticats. Here's Derek Taylor.
I'm Derek Taylor with the details on how one problem leads to another in Hamilton. Let's start with the defense. It's allowing a completion rate of almost 76% at 10.5 yards per attempt. Both of those would crush anything we've seen in the last decade. That leads to bad field position for the offense. Their average drive starts at the 31. Look how much worse that is than even 7th best Ottawa. So the offense starts in a hole, and then they give up pressure on 31% of their pass snaps, 3rd worst in the league. And that leads to trouble in the passing game. Only 2 QBs in the league have more interceptions than touchdowns, Zach Collaros and Jeremiah Masoli. Collaros' stats are pretty shocking. This season, his completion percentage is almost 11 points lower than his expected completion percentage. That is an enormous number. And look how it's fallen. And Collaros' accuracy is way off. The average depth of his targets has fallen from 10.9 yards downfield in 2015 to 9.6 this year. 9.6 is about the league average. His accuracy has fallen to 69%, which would be the lowest of any qualifying quarterback in these 3 seasons. That leads to them not moving the ball. Hamilton has had 2-and-outs on 40% of their drives this season. The league average is 30. That leads to bad field position for the defense, and we're back at the beginning. It's like a circle of bad football, and it helps explain the O in 0-5. I'm Derek Taylor with the details on the CFL.
Good to have a life.
As for the details of this game, Matt Nichols and the Bombers are leading it. And the most important stat, 17-12. We'll have some other numbers coming up at the half at TD Place in Ottawa. Stick around. Bombers lead halftime stats. The name Harris offers some stunning stats. Trevor, only 37 yards passing in the second quarter after a great first. Andrew, only 10 yards combined on the ground and through the air. Big touchdown early for Ryan Langford for Winnipeg, standing by with Brent Wallace.
Ryan, I want to ask you about the opening drive. Is that momentum you carried over for last game when you get the first touchdown in the first play?
I mean, it's a lot of momentum. Anytime you can go out there and make a big play, especially the first play, that really gets guys fired up, and that's all I was trying to do.
What's it mean for you to fill in from the Weston Dressler spot and to be able to make that play right away?
It feels great. Definitely trying to go in and do what I can do. We really don't want to have any type of drop-off, and I'm just happy that I can, be the guy to make the play.
One thing that we saw that was interesting is the side huddle. Is it something that you guys try to work in here?
I mean, we're trying to work with what we got. And out here we're on one sideline, so we're just trying to throw a little extra wrinkle in there to give us the advantage.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Well, good start for the offenses, but as Matt and Milt talked about, Winnipeg's defense really coming on strong in that second quarter, contributing a touchdown too. And that's the difference right now, 17-12 of the second half kickoff. Coming up, Friday Night Football on TSN. Down scored today and all season long. Safeway and Sobeys are proud to donate $250 to Special Olympics Canada.
Back in Ottawa, lightning in the distance. Bombers had a lightning strike early on. Ottawa REDBLACKS behind right now. Brad Sinopoli with Brent Wallace.
Brad, you scored on your 2 opening drives. What adjustments did they make to kind of stifle your offense here?
Well, I mean, they're very good in their zones and switching up their coverage. And they put us in some second and longs, and it's hard against them in second and longs. We just got to be productive on first down, and when we got the shots to make those plays, we just got to go up and get them.
Obviously know the record you guys have going in here to the second half. What do you have to do in order to turn this thing around into a W?
We just got to stay calm, one play at a time, and that's it. We just talked about making plays in there, and everyone's got to do their job, and it's as simple as that. Thanks, Brian. Thank you.
Well, there's one of their playmakers in his first game with Ottawa, Quincy McDuffie. Might he be able to give the REDBLACKS a spark? Down that far sideline, pushed out of bounds. The Ottawa REDBLACKS, Dwayne Ford, 0-2, trailing at the half this season. 0-4, trailing after 3 quarters. So they've got to find a way to finish. And I know there's no panic here yet. And I know they're talking Grey Cup hangover. But they don't want to let this one slip away as well tonight.
No, they don't. And to be fair, from an Ottawa perspective, a big chunk of their season has been played with those 4 games in 17 days. A lot of games played close together. That not a huge shock that they would have trouble in the second half, particularly the last couple of games in that stretch.
Quick hitter. Sinopoli's been active tonight. Brad Sinopoli and Greg Ellingston. Again, we talk about that Batman and Robin combination. 1 and 2 in so many areas. Here's the thing for Ellingston. Only 3 catches last week or 11 days ago in their last game, and not very productive tonight.
Yeah, only 1 catch in the first half of this ball game. That came very early on, first possession.
William Powell, daylight. Home free, touchdown. William Powell finds the hole, and nobody was there. 52-yard romp. Talk about a north to south.
Well, the offensive line gives him a crease right at the line of scrimmage, and then there is essentially no second level for Winnipeg on this play defensively.
So the REDBLACKS regain the lead. They'll go for 2 to try to make it a 3-point game. Why not? To Brad Sinopoli. Great play action, and there's a scuffle here. John Gott, Sam Hurl. Jamal Westerman's in there. Flags flying, and they may offset each other, but the temperature's rising here tonight. The Ottawa REDBLACKS just heated it up. William Powell, pow! To the end zone for the touchdown. Just like that. How do you say redemption? 52-yard touchdown. Bolt by William Powell.
Well, you want to stay out of second and long? That's one way to do it. You look at thing we talked about in the first half of this ball game, where for Ottawa it was more about the extended drive, and that was their style of play, whereas Winnipeg put immediate points up on the board with a big play to start the first half. It's a great way to start this second half for Ottawa.
Brad Maher boots it through. But there will not be a single point. There was roughing after that convert because no one touched it. The Bombers will now scrimmage from their 25-yard line. But let's take a look at this. Remember, William Powell fumbled the football in that first half, led to the touchdown by Chris Randall.
And key on this was left guard Alex Mateus getting up to Kyle Knox, the linebacker, at second level. He was the only second level defender there. There you see Sam Hurl front and center, grabs the face mask of John Gott. That was the flag that was thrown, and what was a bit of a mini Donnybrook out there.
Well, the Ottawa REDBLACKS now trying to tighten up their defense. Timothy Flanders gets his second handoff of the ball game, so Bombers again going with that twin tailback combination with Harris and Flanders. Harris barely getting any touches on the ground in the first half. That was a 9-yard run by Flanders.
A great read and cut back. That zone blocking scheme.
Dan Lefebvre into the ball game. Short yardage guy. Decides to throw. He has to throw it out of bounds, so on 2nd and 1. One thing you will not get with Mike O'Shea and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers is predictable.
No, absolutely not. Knowing they've got 2 shots in short yardage, they opt for the element of surprise here, but Ottawa was ready for it. Receivers were well covered. Lefebvre knows, I've still got a 3rd down. There's no sense taking a gamble, taking a sack, throwing a bad pass. Get it out of bounds, preserve the 3rd and short opportunity.
Behind the pile, initially the REDBLACKS had a good push, and the Bombers get their first down. 5 of 6 before that on the season, so now 6 of 7 on 3rd down plays. Former Argo and Hamilton Tiger Cat quarterback Dan Lefebvre. Had a number of lead changes now. Nichols, field side, Bailey Gudino. Another reception for him, another first down.
Plenty of space to hang out over on that wide side. Comes something of a check down. He's the one receiver out there, zone coverage. Everybody backs off.
Now Nichols with a hook slide. Nobody home, so decided to take off. And we've seen this before from Matt Nichols. We saw it last week. Really responsible for that game-winning touchdown when he got out of the pocket and went for a run, but there was nowhere to roam here.
Well, things opened up in front of him, at least enough to avoid the sack. And Nichols wisely hits the dirt rather than take an unnecessary shot as 3 defenders were converging.
2nd down conversion. Rush of 5 men. Nichols again. Lets one go deep. Overthrows TJ Thorpe, and so Justin Medlock will come out. Boot the ball back to the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Game of field position really since the 2nd quarter onward.
Such an explosive start to this ball game. Trevor Harris had an opening drive, which after his first pass was dropped, completed 9 in a row. 6.5-minute drive to put Ottawa up. Winnipeg responded in one play.
End over end. Quincy McDuffie was the hurdle. Kevin Fogg helps out. The convoy brings down McDuffie near his 25-yard line. Trevor Harris comes out gunning in the second half and then hands it off to William Powell to give Ottawa the lead. It's his team now. It's his car here in Ottawa. And Trevor Harris trying to get his team their second win of 2017. This summer, Dwayne Ford, winter's coming. Join your favorite Hicks for an all-new season of ice fishing, snowmobiling, and bar fights. Leonard Kenny, now streaming only on Crave TV. Start your 1-month trial at cravetv.ca. I don't write them, I only read them. Trevor Harris now back to pass. Chased down from behind. And they had Trevor Harris in the crosshairs. He was able to avoid a big hit, but was also able to pick up 6 yards.
And you see Jackson Jeffcoat, who's really started to find his way these last couple of weeks, replacing an injured Tristan Opala-Ugo in that Bomber defensive line.
2nd and 4 from the 31. Harris to Sinopoli. What an outlet. He's been the safety valve tonight. They've taken away Greg Ellingson defensively. 6-yard pickup for Brad Sinopoli, the former quarterback right here in Ottawa. At Ottawa U.
Well, this is where Trevor Harris had his success early. Those quick hitters, Brad Sinopoli, of course, a primary target.
Brendan Galanders gets a touch here. First down, has 8 yards. William Powell on the sideline. You saw him being worked on that training table. Galanders, though, has been able to get some touches. And again, the rotation of tailbacks, mostly because of injury in Ottawa, has meant Brendan Galanders has been able to get some running time. 2nd down and short. They'll do it again. And Galanders does it again. And Brendan Galanders up near the Winnipeg 41. Another guy who played here in Ottawa with the GGs.
Just a small crack from the offensive line. Working that double team. Galanders himself makes the linebacker miss. Moves those sticks. Explosive player. Galanders in his 4th CFL season, spent the first couple as a member of the Toronto Argonauts, playing primarily on special teams with the double blue.
How cool must it be for Brendan Galanders, Brad Sinopoli, and Ettore Latanzio to all play together in Ottawa professionally when they play together in university as well?
Yeah, great football community here in Ottawa. Obviously the Red Blacks at the top of that food chain, but a couple of great universities in Ottawa and Carleton. Great minor football here as well in the nation's capital.
We'll step aside. Patrick Lavoie's hurt and come back. Patrick Lavoie makes his way to the sideline without assistance. That's good news.
Yeah, Lavoie is right on the edge here, blocking off the edge. And you see Jamal Westerman actually has a hold of his leg, and then it's the weight of both Westerman and Sir Vincent Rogers that kind of end up leaning on that lower limb.
Harris, quick hitter far side. Ellingson's 2nd catch of the night. They want to get him involved. And when he's involved, usually great things happen.
He's certainly the big play guy in this Ottawa receiving corps. Has really stepped up here in 2017 for Jamie Elizondo and Trevor Harris in this Red Blacks offense.
On pace for almost a 1,900-yard season right now, and that was batted down. Greg Ellingson came in first in the CFL in yards receiving into week 7. Keep in mind the Red Blacks have also played 6 games. This is Winnipeg's 6th.
See right in the middle of the Ottawa Winnipeg defensive line. Couple of hands up. Got a piece of that football.
So Brett Maher try to tie this, make this a 6-point game. And he will do that. 23-17 as Maher buries it.
Maher with lots of distance on that one. Putting it through the back of the end zone.
Maher and Justin Medlock both came in tonight. Exact same percentage, 12 of 15. Both very strong kickers, both also punters on their teams. Nichols, little play action on the roll. Throws a strike again. Fiole Godino active tonight for the Blue Bombers on that far side. 14-yard gain again for Julian Fiole Godino.
And I like the call to move the pocket. My teams sometimes start getting into that rut of going drop back all the time, which is one of those things that plays right into the hands of pass rushers. They get in that rhythm, targeting the same spot.
Nichols shotgun. Trying to get Harris involved. It's those Pistons moving up near the midfield stripe, a 6-yard gain. Andrew Harris not as busy as he has been in previous weeks. Focus point last week against Montreal.
Yeah, nice job on this run, really pressing the point of attack to get the defense pursuing hard front side on the play. And he's planting when he sees a hole, turning it upfield. Nice gain on first down.
Only 5 touches. 3 catches, 2 rushes. And there's another catch for Andrew Harris, who also is on pace to be a record setter this season as a running back catching footballs.
Well, keep an eye here. Andrew Harris is going to come from the backfield, and you'll see on his route just how he kind of comes out, slow pace, and then accelerates to take off on Taylor Reed, get a little bit of separation. He's got to start off selling that a little bit as he's just going to ease his way out into the flat.
Andrew Harris could obliterate the record the way he's going. They hand it off now. Flanders back in the game. Another first down. So Winnipeg really mixing and matching play calling here. To the air, to the ground. Well-balanced attack, and they move it close to the red zone.
Yeah, and you talk about the balance in this attack. That includes in the running game, where Ottawa can't just key on Andrew Harris with Tim Flanders in the ballgame. That time they had Harris blocking backside, creating a little bit of a misdirection.
From the 22. Nichols empties it out. Could not find Clarence Denmark. Set up second down here. Clock ticking towards 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
And Nichols just lost the handle on that one as he came up short. Had Denmark in the flat to his left. Also Andrew Harris was open as he had slipped out of the backfield the other way.
REDBLACKS bring the heat. Nichols steps up, going nowhere. Down he goes. And Khalil Bass, the former Winnipeg Blue Bomber and one of Matt Nichols' good friends, takes his buddy down.
Khalil Bass steps up to the line of scrimmage. He's just going to come off the edge here.
So now Justin Medlock, 1 for 2 tonight, made from the 52, this from the 37. Make it 36 yards, splits it. And the Blue Bombers inch within 3. And Medlock chatting with his new holder this week, Matt Coates. Again, no Weston Dressler. Khalil Bass, part of the sack squad in Ottawa. Big sack that time, kept the Bombers away from the end zone, but a field goal by Medlock and another close one in the nation's capital. A reminder, just over a half hour from now, Edmonton Hamilton undefeated against winless. That will start on TSN 4 tonight in its entirety. Joined after this one. Justin Medlock makes that field goal, kicking into the wind. Remember, the Bombers won the toss tonight, deferred to the second half, elected not to take the ball out of the half, and will get the wind in the fourth. Medlock talking to Matt Coates after the field goal, and there is some wind right into his face here.
Yeah, and there didn't seem to be much of a win at halftime when they were making that decision not to take the ball to start the third quarter, because they chose an end at that time, and seems to be shaping up the way they would have wanted for the fourth quarter here as it's starting to blow.
Starting to blow, and again, we thought we might have a deluge based on weather reports earlier in the day. Said a thunderstorm would bowl through here, but it has not. It's not yet. Duffy. Taylor Loeffler downfield knocks him out of bounds. So Trevor Harris, that will be his starting point with 4 minutes and change here in this third quarter. Interesting that Trevor Harris has stayed with the glove on his hand. Remember that he got hurt early in the season, kind of nicked his hand up a little bit in his forearm. Wore a glove for the first time, and over the last few weeks has decided to keep that glove on.
Yeah, sometimes it becomes a bit of a comfort zone, as you know, initially you're not used to it, but then you get to kind of like the added grip that the glove can provide.
Doing all right here tonight. High percentage as always. Trying to get Greg Ellingson to be part of the party here a little more. 8-yard pickup.
Ellingson out wide against the first-year field corner. Rock Carmichael. See if they test that matchup a little more with their leading receiver.
So far this season, this quarter, the third quarter, has been Winnipeg's big quarter. Plus 40 differential, minus 15 the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Bombers' issue has been closing ball games, although they did last week. There's Ryan Lindley. The Dan Lefevre of the Ottawa REDBLACKS, their short yardage specialist. We had an interesting conversation in the lobby in our hotel today, did we not?
Well, we did. We met a Winnipeg fan.
Passionate Winnipeg fan.
Yes, he's in town for the game, and not a big fan of the backup quarterbacks coming in critical short yardage situations.
He made some valid points.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. But
look out, Trevor Harris throws it out. That's a live football. Somehow got it out there. Deontay Spencer. Trevor Harris was able to avoid catastrophe.
Yeah, well, he knew he had Spencer out there, so it's a little bit of a blind throw. You just worry a little bit. The pressure came from the right side of that defensive line. Jackson Jeffcoat again getting his hands on Harris. Bit of a dangerous one that hung up there a little bit, getting out to Spencer.
2nd and 11. Here comes that rush again. Harris, sidearm, penalty flag down, make that 2 flags down now. Brad Sinopoli, who's been the busiest guy on the field tonight for the Ottawa REDBLACKS.
Illegal contact. Winnipeg number 23. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
TJ Heath. Guilty of that penalty. Mike O'Shea wants some clarification. So it's going to make it 2nd down and 1. They'll bring the beef out again. And Lindley, who goes right side and is wrapped up and ripped down by Sam Hurl.
Yeah, great play by Sam Hurl.
And this will be 3rd and a long 1. They had to get to the 51.
Back up, guys, back up. Stay close.
And this is going to be marked at the 50.
Hurl's going to come just blasting through there. Track down the Ottawa quarterback.
So REDBLACKS will line it up again, short yardage. And they drop the ball. turn it over to the Blue Bombers, whose defense comes up huge here.
Well, and this goes to the point of the discussion that we had earlier. A quarterback who hasn't been in the game, hasn't taken a lot of snaps in the course of the game, being relied on to handle the ball in what is a critical situation. Now, obviously, historically, the argument going the other way is...
And it's a good argument the other way, too.
You want to limit the number of hits, for one thing, that your starting quarterback is taking, especially knowing what can go on in those piles, but also to have your backup involved so he is taking snaps and he is involved throughout the game.
Quick hitter. Darvin Adams. So the Blue Bombers, who already have a turnover tonight, immediately turned it to points, and a fumble recovery to the end zone by Chris Randall. Get a turnover on downs. It's the second time that the Red Blacks this season have been stopped on third down.
I'm actually surprised not to see the Bombers go right for the jugular after that turnover, take a shot deep.
Andrew Harris shuffles up the middle. Will move the sticks, a fresh set of downs again inside the 40-yard line. So Lapo puts on his cap again. How about Richie Hall's defense? Richie Hall called his D out this week, and even though the Blue Bombers came off a big win, they still gave up big yardage and big points.
And you wondered the way this game started for Richie Hall's D, if the message had really gotten through.
Play action. Nichols now has to dance and has to throw it away. Otherwise, he was going down as well. Jake Sorenzo was right in the vicinity. Almost got home. That front line harassing Matt Nichols. It's going to be second down, though. Final play, barring penalty, coming in the third quarter. And what else in Ottawa but a close football game heading to the fourth. Nichols sends out 5 receivers. Coming back to the football is Adams. And they'll give him the mark right at the first down marker. And it may require a measurement. We'll find out. That's the final play of the third quarter. Just 3 points separating East and West, separating the Red Blacks and the Blue Bombers. A game full of big plays and lots of D. Who will blink first in the fourth? On Friday Night Football.
Isn't it? Coming up on Friday Night Football, part 2 of the doubleheader. Mike Riley and the 5-0 Edmonton Eskimos hosting the 0-5 Hamilton Tiger Cats. We'll see the start of that game on TSN4. The rest of the network will join it at the conclusion of the game in Ottawa as we go back to Rod and Dwayne.
Well, Rod, we may even have a little extra time here tonight. The way the Ottawa Red Blacks have played it this season, every game has been close. Yes, they have 4 losses, but they've lost all 4 of those games by a grand total of 10 points aggregate. So every game's been close. They have a 3-point lead heading to the fourth.
And for Ottawa, obviously it becomes about finding ways to win those close games. This was an issue for this team going back a few years to their beginnings.
Nichols now has some running room. And Matt Nichols takes off again. Bowls his way on first down, close to another first down. And Matt Nichols, you gotta love his bravado. We saw it last week against the Alouettes. Really a clutch, key scramble. This is another one. He is not afraid to take a hit.
No, he absolutely picks his spots, but getting the job done when he does use his legs.
Andrew Harris. Looks like he achieved the first down. This was Matt Nichols. Here tonight, low snap. Couldn't find anybody and then just decided to tuck it and take it. So now inside the red zone. Red Blacks, the best red zone D in the CFL this season. Bombers 3rd overall in the red zone, inside the 20. Looking end zone. And it's caught. Darvin Adams. There is a flag down.
Holding. Winnipeg number 69.
Never mind.
10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So this touchdown is taken off the board because of the hold.
And that's going to go against the right guard, tucked in there, Suk Chung. You see the hands got outside of the frame a little bit, working against Zach Evans.
So now back outside that red zone, or green zone, if you will. 1st and 20 from near the 27-yard line. Play of the drive. Nichols slinging it out. Spun down. Fioli Godino. Did not get to the initial line of scrimmage, only up near that 20-yard line. So a big second down upcoming. Red Blacks look to hold and force a field goal attempt.
Yeah, 3 receivers out on that front side. Fioli Godino in the flat. Essentially the check down, the third option, as Nichols progresses through his reads on the front side of that play.
Adams on the boundary side, Fioli Godino on the field side. Nichols looks over the middle, and the pass is caught down near the 5-yard line by Clarence Denmark. Penalty flag is down in the backfield once more.
Illegal block, hands to the face. Winnipeg number 61. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
And you know what's going through the mind of that guy? Not again.
This time, it's the center, number 61, Matthias Gosen.
Great call. So the Bombers backed up now to the 30-yard line. 2nd and loads. 2nd and 24. Deep drop again. They set up the screen for TJ Thorpe. Down near the 15, and the drive is going to end here. That will bring out the field goal unit in time to call on Justin Medlock to tie this up.
Yeah, TJ Thorpe works from the right edge into the middle of that formation. Just with that kind of distance to go, you know there were going to be a whack of Ottawa tacklers lined up waiting for him before he could get close to that first down marker. They'll let him make that catch, so then just move forward to make a play.
Busy night for the kickers. Here's Medlock again. This from 21-yard line. Put us all square. Remember, the Bombers have the wind, and it's starting to pick up in the 4th. It could come down to a toe tonight. Busy night for the kickers and the coordinators. And these two teams looking for dubs in Ottawa.
Since the Ticats got to a win was 2 weeks ago against Edmonton, led until the final minute. The rematch at Commonwealth coming up. TSN4 will have the start of it in about 20 minutes' time, and the rest of the network will join it at the conclusion of the Bombers and the Red Blacks. Back to Rod and Wayne.
Yeah, we're back to square one. Tied now. 23 apiece. Loads of time left here in the 4th quarter. Red Blacks had issues closing ball games. Blue Bombers were able to close last week, maybe carrying some momentum. And you wonder if the residue of last week might work into the advantage for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That emotion of being finally able to finish a ball game.
Yeah, and I don't think that it's necessarily a carryover of momentum as much of as a carryover of confidence.
Yeah.
And not just individual confidence, but confidence and trust in each other because of what they were able to accomplish as a group.
2nd down and 10. Over the top. Man open.
Cody Hoffman.
There's Cody Hoffman. Makes another catch here tonight. Career leader in receptions, touchdowns at BYU.
A bit of CFL legacy having been coached there by Hall of Famer Ben Cahoon.
Harris is sacked. Mo Leggett, part of the blitz squad that brought some heat. Mo Leggett has his first sack of the season.
You see Leggett coming off the edge. Little duck inside on the running back. Galanders just a little off in terms of his set, recognizing where the quarterback was.
Landers out there again. Harris fires. Great catch. Ellingson right near the first down marker. He's going to be a little bit shy. And will this bring out that short yardage unit, which failed the last time, or will it bring out Brett Maher? It's third and a very long one. Decision time for Rick Campbell. Great catch by Ellingson. And they're bringing out the short yardage guys.
Remember what happened the last time. Ryan Lindley in the short yardage unit was out there. Bobbled snap. Led to a turnover on downs.
Nervous red-black crowd here. Lindley behind center. And the push will require a spot. Had to get to the 44-yard line. It looks like they're going to spot it at the 43.5. So success this time for Ryan Lindley.
Yeah, they had a pretty good initial surge from that offensive line that doesn't hurt when your short yardage quarterback weighs about 235.
You see that exhale from Coach Campbell. Right there. Extra surge.
Yeah, you should have it, as you can see.
Quite a few long drives tonight. Chewing up the clock. Once again, it's Galanders, and we have not seen William Powell since his touchdown.
Yeah, Powell has been in and out of the Ottawa lineup this season after missing all of 2016. Fortunately, you have the versatility of a guy like Brendan Galanders who can play both backfield spots quite capably.
It's almost like there's been a dark cloud hovering over that feature tailback ever since the Red Blacks came back into the Canadian Football League 4 years ago. Just have not been able to have someone healthy for a great period of time. Harris steps up, steps to the side now. Still alive. Throws it to the far side. There's a flag down. Trevor Harris escaping again. Drake Nevis close to bringing him down.
Illegal contact. Winnipeg number 4. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So it'll keep the drive moving though. Rock Carmichael flagged on this play. Illegal contact. Close to the midway point of the fourth quarter.
Carmichael, the corner, out on that wide side, shuffling down with Ellingson. Driving on. Looked like the real contact was inside of 5 yards, but then the feet got tangled up further in the right.
Bombers 95 yards in penalties here tonight. Red Blacks can't get this play off. Winnipeg came into this game as the
time count violation. Ottawa number 7. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Bombers the least penalized team in the CFL. Penalties piling up though tonight. Two teams that split their series a year ago. Difference of 50 yards in penalties in this game. First and 15 after the time count. Tossed off. That was really a panic toss that time by Trevor Harris. Oh, and down went Drake Nevis as he came out of that pile. They jaw back and forth. No flags.
And there's certainly been some ill will between this Winnipeg defensive line and the Ottawa O-line.
Jackson Jeffcoat actually went flying. Second down and 15, and again.
Procedure, Ottawa number 55. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Sir Vincent Rogers at his left tackle spot had a couple of potential rushers in front of him. May have had him a little eager to get moving on that play.
Second and 20 now. Bombers just rushed 3, as you might think, and Harris fires over the top. Right at the first down marker, and another clutch catch from 88. Brad Sinopoli.
And 9 guys in coverage. And Brad Sinopoli manages to find the one open spot on the field coming out of that cluster. He's right on the hash marks. There you see, just sits down in the one open space available. Trevor Harris finds him for a big first down.
9 receptions, 95 yards for Brad Sinopoli.
Yeah, the rain's starting to fall again here in Ottawa.
Keep it on the turf. On first down, which will set up a throwing down once more. The Landers now the feature tailback in this second half. Clock ticking close to 6 minutes remaining in the fourth, and a team that's gone to overtime quite a bit at this stadium. We might have an extra frame looming. Now Mother Nature's having her say.
A big play for Richie Hull's defensive unit here.
Been a big drive, chewing up the clock, penalty flag. There goes the ball to the end zone. Touchdown, Greg Ellingson. Now,
offside, Winnipeg number 44. That penalty be declined. Touchdown.
Greg Ellingson, who has been pretty much silenced by the Bomber D tonight, comes up with a huge play at the perfect time.
And he's going to have to tell Trevor Harris all about this one when they get back to the sideline, because Harris was on the ground. He wouldn't have seen how this one ended. Bust on the back end leaves the free safety, Taylor Loeffler, scrambling to try and get to Ellingson.
Now through the raindrops, Maher. Point after. Raised the goalpost, but goes through, and Greg Ellingson with his 4th touchdown. Guy who has some magic here at TD Place. TD Place is Ellingson Place. Red Blacks lead.
Oh, there's a good shot of the Edmonton Eskimos getting set for part 2 of the doubleheader, and it begins very soon on TSN4. They'll have the start of that in about 5 or 10 minutes' time. The rest of the network will join it. But first, we got to finish in Ottawa. Back to Rod and Dwayne.
Guy just knows and has a nose for the end zone, doesn't he?
Well, Greg Ellingson is the big play guy within this Ottawa offense. He demonstrates that yet again, making a big catch in the back of the end zone.
So now the Bombers have to answer. Down 7. Langford striding through the rain here. Pretty good return, actually, for Ryan Langford. Setting ourselves up for another big finish. And the Bombers, like last week, trailing late. Can they do it again? The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the 2017 GMC Sierra Elevation Edition. Get noticed like a pro. Good one here tonight. Under the lights, under the raindrops in the fourth quarter. Bombers scrimmage here. down 7 after the return by Langford from their 41. Wing it out for Darvin Adams. As Dwayne Ford said, will the confidence the Bombers have from last week be able to play out again for a second consecutive week?
Well, it was interesting to watch. We didn't get much of a chance to talk about it in the aftermath of that game last week, but, you know, Matt Nichols, with his team down 2 scores late in that game, he was grinning from ear to ear on the sidelines, I think, relishing the opportunity.
Nichols looks one way, now the other, in trouble, pitches it out to TJ Thorpe, and Thorpe somehow bashes his way for a first down.
A big play by Matt Nichols to stay alive. And TJ Thorpe to stay on the same page as his quarterback on the scramble. Does a nice job getting on the move to mirror Nichols once he starts moving, getting to a place where his quarterback can get him the ball. It's a big first down.
A near miss sack again from the Ottawa REDBLACKS. First down from the Winnipeg. Make that the Ottawa 54. They'll hand it off to Andrew Harris. Has running room. One of his biggest scampers of the night. First down, about 13 or 14 for the native of Winnipeg.
A nice cutback here by Andrew Harris. So you start at front side. There's a lane. Follow Big Sook Chung, who gets a terrific block at second level.
There's an injury on the field. A reminder on TSN4. The Eskimos and the Ticats will be starting shortly. We'll be joined full network after this game is completed. Andrew Harris, who like Greg Ellingson, has been kind of quiet compared to what we saw last week and weeks previous. But wasn't it funny how at the end of the game last week, Andrew Harris, who had the first touchdown of the game against Montreal, also had the closing touchdown.
Yeah, the bright lights. Critical time of the game. It's where the stars really shine. Clutch players, Greg Ellingson and Andrew Harris.
Bombers did such a good job tonight.
It's Adam Berger, the injured Ottawa Redblack. Seen a number of reps at safety here in the second half of this ball game. Free agent signing from Calgary during the offseason.
Out of SFU, but Mike O'Shea and Richie Hall, their D tonight, doing a good job on Ellingson. Brad Sinopoli's been open a lot, though. And number of catches. This is the time of the game where we have to decide players of the game. Tough one here tonight.
Yeah,
you talked about the bright lights.
Determined.
Yeah, the bright lights. And as we said, it could come down to a toe here tonight. Getting close to the 3-minute warning. First down again after that Harris romp. Looks like Nichols is going to empty his backfield. Harris stays into block. Now goes sideline, coming back to the football. Adams was fighting on that far sideline with Jonathan Rose.
Yeah, it looked like Nichols and Adams were trying to work that throw behind down the sidelines. Nichols was Adams unable to get free.
Ottawa number 9. Point of foul, automatic, first down.
Jonathan Rose arguing his case, but it keeps this drive moving. Another first down, Winnipeg.
You're going to see him work back, and it looks like as the throw is behind, he's trying to get back to that. And there you see Jonathan Rose reach around and wrap him up, preventing him from getting back to the ball.
Field goals won't do it for Winnipeg, though, even though there's time left. They like to get to the end zone. Nichols, though, is going down. And it's Avery Ellis with the tap out again.
Avery Ellis looking to establish himself as the second best player in REDBLACKS history to come out of Temple University. A couple of sacks today, adding to the youngster's resume.
Winnipeg called a timeout. Will the timer please put 3:02 on the clock?
So the Bombers call a timeout before the 3-minute warning, and Ellis has been ferocious tonight. The former Temple Owl, former alma mater of Henry Burris, of course. Ellis was so jacked up coming to Ottawa, knowing that this was the place that Hank also brought a Grey Cup. Ellis is doing his job tonight. So after the timeout, final play before the warning. Second down and 19, a loss of 9 on the sack. Nichols takes a peek end zone, and it is caught, but it's out of bounds. Darvin Adams catches the ball out of bounds.
They're so close for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
So the 3-minute warning, Justin Medlock will come out. The Bombers will be forced to take the points to pull closer, and sets us up for another thrill ride to the final gun. Medlock, field goal attempt when we come back. 3-minute warning in the fourth quarter here in Ottawa tonight on Friday Night Football. Darvin Adams thought he had one in the end zone, out of bounds by a step. So Winnipeg, after taking a shot, will now try to pull within 4 points. Field goal attempt from the sure-footed, left-footed Justin Medlock. Keep in mind, new holder this week in Matt Coates from the 35 for Medlock. And this one is through. And just like last week, this Winnipeg Blue Bomber team will take us right down the wire.
Yeah, not what they were looking for out of that last possession, especially to be so close. Here you'll see that toss to Darvin Adams.
By a step.
Yeah, just barely.
So now if you do the math, for Campbell's team, which by the way has owned possession tonight. Last time, their touchdown drive ate up so much time on the clock, might have actually been able to pave their way to victory if they hang on tonight, and they've been playing so many close ones.
You see the list of close calls they've accumulated, the 4 losses, as you mentioned earlier, Rod, by a combined total of just 10 points.
The last drive took up 6 minutes on the clock here in the fourth quarter. Trevor Harris, play it safe. Ball control offense. Now remember Justin Medlock a week ago. Big short kickoff, not necessary this time. Pounds it deep into the end zone, and this one is going to have to settle in the end zone where the REDBLACKS will give up one. That's a huge point. 3 points between these teams.
The 2017 GMC Sierra Elevation Edition. Get noticed like a pro.
Well, just like last week, Justin Medlock contributes in so many ways. You start doing the math and you realize the numbers, and that point, had that ball bounced through the end zone untouched, it's no point. But because the REDBLACKS had to give up one, that rouge could be a big one. Now the Bombers are within 3. They do not have to go to the end zone if they get the ball back. The question is, will they get the ball back? And there's a good start for Richie Hall's D. Stuffing Galanders at the line of scrimmage.
Well, if you're a Winnipeg fan right now, you're thinking they're in much better shape than they were at this stage a week ago.
Well, at this stage a week ago, they were down 12, and pretty much everybody was writing them off. Everybody was leaving. We almost sealed it, couched it by, the old, well, you never know. Well, guess what? You never know happened.
We said it. We didn't really believe it.
No,
we'll admit that now.
You never
An
know.
Outstanding comeback late in that ball game.
You never know became what?
Yeah, for the now established Cardiac Kids from Winnipeg. Down 3 with 2.5 to go. The other team having the ball. They're probably feeling pretty confident right now.
You talked about Matt Nichols on the sideline and how he was actually grinning. so confident, even with his team down, not panicking by any stretch. That's kind of his MO. He was telling us yesterday that, you know, he's been through that before. At college, there were 5 different scores in the span of 3 minutes, and his team pulled it out. And, you know, I think that stuff stays in your memory banks. That confidence that you glean even as a younger player. It could even be back to flag football when you were a kid. But if you have that confidence to win, it sticks.
Yeah, no question.
With Buck Pierce, former Bomber quarterback, now the quarterback's coach. He helps a lot as well. Big second down here for the Red Blacks. Bombers rush 5. Out into that far side. Sinopoly's going to be held short, and Winnipeg's going to get the ball back. And Matt Nichols will have 2 minutes to work with, a chance to take it to the house or get it into field goal position for Justin Medlock.
Yeah, and this is a tough one as Trevor Harris has to go to a long throw out to that wide side that just allows the defense so much time to close and make a play, as Brian Walker did.
Medlock has had a couple of opportunities as well this year. Fell short in BC. Will have to kick, if he does kick, through the rain here. We'll have to see what happens over the next 2 minutes. Maher. The Bombers set up the return. Off the side of his foot. This is not a good kick.
That's out of bounds in the air.
Out of bounds in the air, and that will add yardage on. That's a penalty against Maher and the Red Blacks. The worst possible kick at the worst possible time.
We talk about the confidence thing in these situations. You've got one team that kind of has the ultimate
Illegal
belief.
punt out of bounds. Ottawa. Penalty to be applied where the kick went out of bounds. Up 10 yards. First down.
Got one team in Winnipeg that has the ultimate belief after the way they roared back in less than 2 minutes last week, down 2 scores against Montreal. Then you've got Ottawa, whose season in 2017 has consisted of a lot of losses in close games. The confidence isn't going to be the same.
So a 19 yards on the net after the punt. Nichols to work here to Clarence Denmark, close to the first down. You've got an Ottawa team, though, that 8 months ago won a Grey Cup, and that's still lingering, but their psyche, their confidence seems to be teetering a little bit early in the season.
Yeah, it really has, and the fact is, every season brings with it a new team. There are enough changes. I mean, slightly less experience secondary, a little bit less experience on that D-line as well for Ottawa than there was back in November.
Dan Lefevre in, short yardage quarterback. First down to the 45. There's loads of time here. At this point last week, Winnipeg was still down 12.
Yeah. And to some extent, maybe not from this point in the field, but you also become very aware of clock management. When you're Winnipeg, you're trailing at this point in the ball game, obviously trying to score, ideally to take a lead, but at least tie the game. But you want to also leave Ottawa as little time as possible.
Nichols settles in the pocket, and what a pass through a window. Flag down. Darvin Adams hauling it in. Nichols on target again. What's the call?
I suspect Jonathan Rose may have been in a little early with the contact on Adams, who made the catch regardless.
Sure, now going through the minds of the Bombers, also time on the clock. If they continue this drive,
illegal
if they can
contact.
Get to the zone.
Ottawa number 9. That penalty be declined.
We've
First
seen
down.
a lot of teams leave too much time for the opposition as well. Right now, the Bombers, their biggest thing is to try to either tie or go ahead. Great pass by Nichols. First and 10. And this one's batted down and almost into the hands of Nigel Romick, who could have won the ball game had he caught that.
Yeah, Pruneau came on the blitz. Awareness getting the hands up, and that one goes straight up in the air.
So now on second down, do the Red Blacks load it up and bring the heat once more? Critical second down, biggest play in the ball game right here. Red Blacks stop, the Bombers got to go for a field goal to tie. Here's the rush. Nichols now, far side and unable to find Julian Theoli-Godino. And so now Justin Medlock will come out. Field goal to tie will still leave Ottawa plenty of time to get it into field goal range with a chance to win it. Medlock tonight, 4 of 5. Missed from the 45, and again, this is in the driving rain, has the wind, and from the 40-yard line. To tie this game up once more. There's the snap, the hold, the kick is up, and it is good. Here we go again, partner. Here we go again.
Well, you wouldn't expect anything different here in Ottawa. 57 seconds to go, plenty of time for Trevor Harris, Greg Ellingson, and the Red Blacks. But
great hold by Matt Coates.
Yeah, thrown into the pressure cooker in his first game as Justin Medlock's holder.
Normally Weston Dressler, who is on the injured list right now. So Justin Medlock, clutch, as he always is, the all-time percentage leader in CFL history. And Matt Coates. Celebratory headbutt, but now in the rain, Trevor Harris can put it into field goal range for Brett Maher. Go back though, how big was that kickoff for the single point by Justin Medlock?
Well, you said it at the time, Justin Medlock does it in so many different ways. Even the win last week, Justin Medlock had an off day by Medlock standards kicking field goals, but was absolutely perfect, as he had to be, with the short kickoff, enabling Brandon Alexander to recover that before a Montreal player could get close. He's dropping it into no man's land.
Medlock is going to hammer this. Deep it goes to Josh Stanby, who's got some wheels. Hit hard though, near his 25-yard line, almost the 27-yard line. So Trevor Harris, this is your time. Can you lead your team to its second victory of the young season?
Harris at this point, 27 of 37. 263 yards, a pair of touchdown passes. One of those to Greg Ellingson. You got to believe all eyes are on number 82 here.
Big time player in big time moments. Steps up big time. Harris. And Taylor Loeffler is the hammer and Brad Sinopoli is the nail.
Yeah, that's Taylor Loeffler's bread and butter. He's kind of an old school free safety. Looking to lower the boom here on the crossing route.
Lowers the boom. Saw Sinopoli had to talk about timing a little bit earlier or a little bit later. Could be 15 yards. Have to be careful as well here. Another critical second down. Harris going deep, far sideline, and it's out of bounds for Ellingson with 39 to go. Crowd now restless, wanted a call there, and so Ottawa's kick team comes out with 39. Winnipeg might have a chance here to get a playoff or two, and again, it could come down to Medlock and a chance to win.
Kevin Fogg back to receive. You remember how dangerous he was last season. Had a number of returns for touchdowns that were called back.
Kevin Fogg is back. Better kick this time for Maher. Out of bounds goes Fogg. 30 seconds. You've got about 3 plays in here to get it into field goal range.
Well, field goal range isn't that far off when you consider A, that it's Justin Medlock, who has one of the stronger legs in the Canadian Football League, but also has the wind at his back. Another critical decision made by Winnipeg on the coin toss.
Career long for Justin Medlock, 58 yards. In warm-up tonight, he was routinely hitting it from that distance. And in the rain. They go over the top here. And now it's TJ Thorpe. So if they had to kick right now, you're looking at about a 55-yarder. But they still have time here. In fact, they've got a lot of time here.
Yeah, 25 seconds will allow them a few plays.
Emptying the backfield again. He's going to keep it in the air. Matt Nichols full of confidence here. Down near the 40-yard line for Clarence Denmark. And now they might keep it on the ground. They've got some time. Might be able to get it into the middle of the field for Justin Medlock, who has a chance here to win this game.
I can see them taking one more shot possibly here.
Andrew Harris scraps.
Valuable yards.
So now 7 seconds, and they'll call on Justin Medlock, who last week missed a pair of field goals, but then had an amazing onside kick to the middle of the field that helped the Bombers win the game. Tonight, Medlock has a chance to make it 2 in a row for the cardiac Blue Bombers. Now in the end zone, Quincy McDuffie.
Yeah, it's interesting that Ottawa hasn't gone with any kind of kick-out team to cover the whole end zone. If it goes wide, McDuffie may not be able to get to it. They may be assuming that Medlock's going to hit it hard enough that it'll go out of bounds.
Timeout, Ottawa. Maybe they'll think about this a little bit here, because if Medlock misses, right now, his leg the way it is, even if he missed, technically should blow it through the end zone for a single point, and a single point could win it.
And again, that may be the thinking from an Ottawa point of view, that you're better to try and pressure the kick, that it's going to have enough distance that even if you put your 3 guys in on a kick-out team across the back, it's going to go over their heads.
For the win, they've done it again. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers, back-to-back weeks, play comeback, and on the final play, once again, W for the W.
Justin Medlock, Matt Nichols, Mike O'Shea, and all the rest, absolutely clutch. Calm, confident, down the stretch as the legend kind of grows here week by week.
Didn't need a miracle this week. They just needed Justin Medlock. Well, now we found our Nissan Titan player of the game, and it is Justin Medlock. We may even give it to him just for a rouge.
Well, yeah, a valuable single point on a kickoff that put his team in a pretty good position to tie the game earlier rather than being down a point. But here is the winning kick.
Driving rain 40, new holder, same old Justin Medlock.
Yeah, absolutely. People may have wondered a little bit partway through last week's game when he had missed a couple, but Justin Medlock remains Mr. Clutch, and tonight he is Mr. Nissan Titan, player of the game.
The Blue Bombers have won back-to-back comebacks. Medlock, huge again, money again. Medlock, the lock for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Ottawa REDBLACKS have now suffered their 5th loss of the season. The Bombers have found a way in closing time the last couple of weeks. Good night, everybody, from Ottawa, as we send it back to Rod Smith.
Rod, Winnipeg does it again, winning the game on the final